All right, so today we're going to be having a multi-parter. We're going to have multiple parts of this, and it's going to be all about, bam, these two men talking about Virtua Fighter 6 and the new version that they came up with during this good old announcement of the new game. Now, this is a very long interview, very in-depth, and we're translating it from Japanese lingo to American English lingo. And so I'm going to read through it. If you're just listening to this video, you can just have it on the background. I will read through the interview, then give you my commentary as I go. If you're watching, you can also see the commentary from the viewers who are right there talking about the thing as we go. So yeah, we're going to start talking about how this Virtua Fighter project even became a thing, how they chose the director for this, what the considerations they're having are, and how they're viewing Virtua Fighter within the context of fighting games now, and what they realize and acknowledge are the challenges the series has had up until now, and have gotten even worse for the series because modern fighting games are very different than when Sega last made their game, and they recognize that, and they're taking that into account. Get ready? It's gonna be a doozy. What is the appearance of the new Virtua Fighter finally announced? Interview with Mr. Yokoyama, CEO of Sega Ryuga Gotoku Studio, and Mr. Yamada, the producer. Let's go over it, huh? How about we? Look at these two fine goats right here. Just goats. Goats all around. Let's turn my mic up a little bit. Ooh, that's too much. A little less, a little more, a little right there. Good. Maybe too much. Bring it down. There we go. So let's just kind of go through it here. So those of you who are reading this through your ears, let me give you a readout. The Game Awards 2024 was held on December 13th, Japan time. In the video released here, this is pretty boring to read out loud. Basically, they say Virtua Fighter was released or announced at the Game Awards show. What say you? What news do we have? Steam version of Revo came out. That's pretty cool. And a lot of info was released at the same time. Yes. And so Famitsu, because of this, decided to interview the two central figures, apparently, of this project about the VF series, which has been shown a major movement for the first time in more than 10 years. Yeah, 14. Starting with how this project was launched. Talked about VF fans, what VF fans will be interested in, to the limit of what he can say at this point. Okay, now let me tell you again, chat or viewers, this is being translated. Okay, this is being translated, and it's to my left, not my right, it's to my left. How did the new Virtua Fighter project start working? The new Virtua Fighter project was announced at the Games Award. Okay, we already know this. Yokoyama says, originally, the development team for the VF series itself continued to exist in the first division. What's the first division? Which is under my jurisdiction, okay. And more recently, they were working on the VF esports and other games. At the same time, we continued to build up technology through basic research and considered new sequel plans many times, but we couldn't come up with a plan that would satisfy current game fans. That's the reality. Hold on a second. What do you mean current game fans? What do you mean current game fans? What are you talking about? We're talking about Yoko. What you talking about, Yoko? If I can call him that. There were so many things that went into leading into this announcement, okay? What's Yamada have to say? VF is one of the top intellectual properties, IP, in Sega's history, true, and many of our employees had a desire to do something about it. However, as Yokoyama said, due to various reasons, there was a considerable gap between VF5 and VF5. Am I missing a 6? And it took a lot of time to build the part of what is appropriate for the current market. So a lot of words here about the market, and basically them saying, I'm reading this and saying, we understand people don't like Virtua Fighter right now. Like, it's not a modern game. People don't like it in the modern age, and we need to do something to fix this. So that's a little mildly concerning. but also good. Also concerning, but good. I hope it doesn't mean like mechanics that are added in a bad way. Potentially. Please don't give it a seat. 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 Don't do what Sega did. Don't do what Tekken did there. Please. Continue. However, as mentioned earlier, there are developers of the VF series in the same studio, and there are also many VF fans. They always wanted to create a new VF. Yes, we did! Yes, we did! Under such circumstances, I was put in charge of this game, and as a result of listening to their enthusiasm for VF inside the company, thinking about what is necessary for VF in the future, and developing a plan that would connect the past and the future, we currently got the internal go sign. It's going to be a big project, so please do your best. I think the consensus of the fans, including myself, is that they have high expectations for a new Virtua Fighter. Yes, we do. Don't screw it up, Sega. Don't screw it up. I get one shot. Yokoyama, everyone at Sega, including the chairman, president, and even the previous president, is a VF fan from various perspectives. Former president Tsukino, Mr. Yukio Tsukino, the current Sega representative, director, vice president, and Sega Fave representative, director, president, and CEO. Holy crap, that's a lot of titles. Is originally from amusement and AM2 fields. So he has feelings for the VF from the AM, I'm guessing 2 side. Chairman Satomi, Mr. Haruki Satomi, Sega Sammy Holdings, president and group CEO / Sega chairman and CEO. Holy crap, this is like reading off a character name and like title from Yakuza. Loves Sega's IP, including VF, and has been working to redefine the value of Sega's IP and convey it to the world. The recent title and movie adaptation of Sonic are good examples. Sonic 3 was so good. Oh my God, it was so good. And they had people in costumes, and I was there, and I got to take pictures with people in costumes, like actual, like Sonic and Tails were at the thing, and I walked in, and I got the pictures with them, and I had people there who were there to take pictures with people who wanted to do things like I did, and it was really cool. And some folks did cosplay inside too. It was very nice. Very good movie. Go watch and see it. Made me cry by the end. I was literally crying multiple times at the end because it was just so good. And like it was so good. I felt like I was watching the game. It was so good. It's true that Sonic series is showing excitement again as an IP. I think this might mean we get a Virtua Fighter fucking movie. Imagine a Virtua Fighter movie. Imagine it. It'd be amazing. It'd be fucking amazing. Make it now, and put Jackie Chan in it, and as Shun, and put Jet Li as Lao. He'd be a great Lao, or Lei Fei, but he's too old for Lei Fei. So Lao, make Jackie Chan Shun, and make Jet Li Lao. It fucking writes itself, okay? Writes its fucking self. And the president, Yutsumi, I'm skipping the titles now, describes Sega as a treasure island based on the idea that Sega's IP should be able to hit the world. The company is promoting the Legacy Project and is trying to revitalize Golden Axe and Shinobi. These people had always been concerned about Virtua Fighter, and we had been discussing when and in what way we could release a new VF game. Behind the scenes, you were still considering a new work. Yokoyama, I said it right. And as Yokoyama, as Yamada said, there were many people who were thinking about VF in the same way within the development process. But there were people who wanted a legitimate evolution, and there were people who wanted to revive the IP called VF in a completely new form. That's scary. And each of them had different perspectives. Yeah, makes sense. In that state, the project was entrusted to me. I see, that's right. Yokoyama. When reprojecting VF in this way, I realized that it would be difficult to compete with the world simply by making something that was an extension of a fighting game. Interesting. Very interesting. We needed a true planner who could unravel the history of innovation that VF has built up and create a plan that would put a little bit into the future. Into it? I guess that's what Stella's about. The first person that came to mind as a planner was Yamada. He was a fellow planner at Sega and knew his history and abilities best. So on the first day, I called him back after leaving Sega. I suddenly asked him to do VF. Okay, that's how he became director of that project. He has been active as a planner for, I think he means project director or director. Must mean director. I'm going to say director now instead of planner. It doesn't make any sense. For RTS real-time strategy and SLG simulation dating sim, and has also, does that mean they're going to be dating sims in Virtua Fighter 6? That'd be kind of cool. I'd love to date Eileen or Pi as an adult. That'd be awesome. Grown-up Pi, grown-up Eileen. Well, I mean, Pi's already grown up, but like more grown up, be awesome. Or to make the characters date each other, that'd be also pretty cool. Shipping in the game, please bring it in. Let us ship them. Let us date the characters. Let the characters date themselves. Let us make them pair up. That'd be awesome. I'd love it. And has also launched and operated a number of social games that continue to be serviced by Sega. What games are those? I thought that only he could handle this project. So I think they mean re-release or like revival, as he has extensive experience in the games business from game design to production. Yamada, I hadn't heard all of it, but I haven't heard of it at all until I joined the company. And at first I thought, it's impossible! In the first place, both Yokoyama and I are from the consumer field for home video game consoles. That's good. That's actually quite good. It's a good sign. Well done. Good pick. It sounds like you're under a lot of pressure. Yokoyama, I guess. But after we talked about it, the project was launched in 3 months. What was your first goal when launching this project, Yamada? Fighting games are showing signs of excitement again, but it didn't happen suddenly. And of course, both the Tekken series and the Street Fighter series have accumulated over the past decade or so. In the midst of all of this, there was a question: can we catch up by challenging the game with the same vector? Good fucking call. You're right to question that, and you have a good fucking head on your shoulders, because, yeah, good question. CEO, Chief Operating Officer. Oh, thank you, Ufta. Also, tell me what you think over there. Tell me what your thoughts are. I mean, I'm telling you what I think, but if you have thoughts, please tell me, or talk to me below. Give me the comments. What do you think's going on here? What's your predictions? Let's hear them. What was your goal when launching this project? I already caught that. Here we are. However, VF is still a series based on fighting games. On top of that, as a result of thinking about a project that goes beyond what is an extension of that, we launched the project with the goal of aiming for something that can be played by many people, not just a fighting game. Dating sim, incoming. Dating sim, incoming. Code word, dating sim. Give it to us. Like DOA beach volleyball. With the presents, you give the girls presents, and like they play better when you play with them. When you play with them, and your team. I love that game so much. The first one, the other ones are trash, but the first one was amazing. With the latest installments of Tekken and Street Fighter series gaining popularity, did you decide to release VF with the idea that you had a chance of winning? Ooh, they're going right for their fucking ass. Basically, can you compete? Or are y'all washed up? Yokoyama, I can't say anything specific yet about how to find the odds of winning, but this is what the president, Utsumi, told me. Let's say you go to an izakaya in the middle of winter, I don't know what the hell that is, that has a 4.8 on the food log. It's a restaurant, but it's a restaurant that only seats 8, and it's full. Would you line up at such a store? And no matter how delicious you know it is, you can't wait in line outside a tavern where you don't know when the next customer will leave. Naturally, the answer is, I can't wait. Okay. no matter how crowded it is, you're going to line up in the food court, right? But I don't line up in stores that I don't know when they'll be available. In that case, you have no choice but to change the store you line up with, or change the whole store. Please do it. Huh. That's quite a difficult question. Hold on, what the hell? That's a good analogy, but is the game the store? Are the players, are we the consumers who are waiting in line to play games? I don't, who's who here? Please understand. What is he talking about? I myself often tell this kind of parable, and I thought it made sense in the first place. The idea of Ryu Gotoku is the same. By not changing the genre of the story-oriented action. How? How did that happen? How did that happen, Chad? How did that fucking happen? How? I ask you, how? How? This thing flew across the fucking room. Let's continue. We're not editing that out. This is good. So we're doing this live. No edits. Everything's okay. Don't worry about me, chat. Where was I? Told me to fuck off. Where were we? Difficult. Here we are. By not changing the genre of the story-oriented action-adventure genre, but adding the culture of the night town and the underworld, it has transformed from an ordinary izakaya into a place where adults gather with a different taste. Okay. Here, let's just not touch this anymore. Turn this up. Like so. And that's good enough. Okay, continue. But adding the culture of the night town and the underworld, it has transformed from an ordinary... Okay, we already did that. So, what should we do in this mission? If you take bird's eye view and look at VF, you will see one feature. My impression of watching VF, without prejudice, is that it is a sober and stoic battle image. As a fighting game, it's perfect, but it's too simple and sturdy. Good idea. I don't have any projectiles. In a way, the battles are more picturesquely subdued than the effects-packed Ryuga Gotoku. Yes. However, I thought that if I turned it over, it would be a weapon. Although there is superhuman action, the picture of real people punching each other is just right to match the realistic story. In other words, the reality that VF has been obsessed with for 30 years may shine brighter in realistic cityscapes and realistic world settings. Ooh, cityscapes, yes! Oh, that's a bit exciting. Yes, I'm excited about that too. If Kazama Kiryu shoots a Hadouken, it's no longer realistic. It's a fantasy, but with Tetsu's Yama Yatsushi. I think that's a hurricane kick. You can draw a realistic drama. That's why I thought that for Yakuza Studios, VF was a good match. That may be true, as long as Ryuga Gotoku is developed by a studio. We believe that there are definitely strengths that only we have accumulated that rival fighting games do not have. It could be drama, direction, or the ability to create entire city. My answer is to fuse these things into VF and create a new izakaya. Wait, what's the ikazaya? Chat, what's ikazaya? What's ikazaya? What is that? That's why I wanted Yamada to think about how to create a new business format while protecting the izakaya Kaya. What is that? It was very difficult to offer to do. What is that? It was very difficult to offer. To do that, you have to respect and have a deep understanding of both action adventure and fighting games. I think they're talking about Yakuza. That's why I started by pre-reading all the articles in the interview by Yutaka Suzuki, the creator of VF. Yu Suzuki. I didn't know his first name, Yukutaka, and spent a lot of time trying to find the core of the new VF. And when I found my own core, I was able to launch the project in earnest. What was the core of the new VF? What kind of nucleus did you find there? As someone who has witnessed the movement caused by the VF series in my generation, I realized that the core that I have maintained throughout this series is being innovative. And it can be said that it was precisely because I was bound by these words that I was unable to release a sequel with a number. Well, that's true, Yamada. It's easy to say, but it's hard to be innovative. It would have been simpler in these days when the arcade cabinet had the latest board and could only be played with it. The board itself was truly packed with the future. And at the time, film director Steven Spielberg saw VF3 and exclaimed, "It's amazing that you can do this kind of cross simulation with these graphics." However, once the performance difference between the arcade games and home consoles disappeared, it became quite difficult. Yes, it did. Thank you for saying that out loud. That's right. Arcade games in the 90s were really packed with cutting-edge technology. They're really doing a good job in this interview. This is pretty good. This is very good. They're saying all the things that we have been thinking. Although it is difficult, I think that the fact that the new VF is innovative is very important value. Also, as Yokoyama mentioned earlier, I think the keyword reality is also important. There are many ways to think about reality, but when the first VF came out, it was a time when kung fu movies were still popular. Kung fu-like movements and reality were at the core of Virtua Fighter, which is why the game became a game without projectile skills. Even from the standpoint of playing at the time, the reality was different from other fighting games. Yamada, that's right. The appearance of characters that also stylish and realistic within the limited technology of the time. Okay, yeah, innovative, realistic. Let's cut to the chase here. Battle different from other close quarters. I have to read it after that. I can't skip. Of course, in terms of gameplay, the sense of urgency of closing the gap and fighting in close quarters and the reading of each other in battle are also different from other works. Yes, it is. But I took the time to think carefully about how to incorporate the two cores in a more conceptual part. Okay, so I guess the core being up close and read-based. I see, as I mentioned earlier, VF is a fighting game, but it is a read through a monitor. Thank you for keeping that, yes. In other words, I feel that it was a game about communicating with your opponent, and I have the impression that it was more concentrated in other games from the same era. Yes, it is, even from current day. That's the thing that people find hard when they feel it. That's right, perhaps because of that, there were a lot of battles outside of the game. Yeah, people get mad as fuck. I think one of the reasons was that the player base was wide. Maybe. I don't like that answer. No. Even though it was in a game, I think the big thing was that there was a reality that made people think, I'm going to be hit, and I'm going to get hurt and get annoyed. In a way, it's a game where you can proxy for a fight. Probably. That may be true. The reason why it became a culture of good guys are cool is probably because of the reality. I don't know what they're talking about there. It's really amazing that Virtua Fighter works as a tool that allows you to empathize with people so much. I wish it did that. It doesn't. I wish it did that. Some people really need to learn how to get empathy in their fucking bones. That's also what we aim for in Yakuza. Of course, what we are actually doing is different. But the part of how to make people emotionally empathize with the game with a sense of immersion and realism is the same for both VF and Yakuza. Historically, arcade games developed by Sega were also designed to increase the sense of immersion and realism and make people more emotionally involved. After launching this project, I was reminded that there is something at the root of the titles that still exist at Sega, and that is to honestly think about how to make it personal for players. I like that. I think that this may be the culture that has been passed down to the creators of Sega. On the other hand, it also leads to a bad relationship. Sega, Sonic, have y'all seen that fandom? Y'all seen it? I seen it. Sega sees it too. By the way, it is often said that Shenmue and Yakuza are similar, but they have nothing to do with each other. And the people who make them are also different, but spiritually may be similar in nature. Sure. Genes feel the same way. The same is true for character design. Okay. Hold on, I'm just fixing my audio a little bit. There we go. Better? Ah, it was a little too hot. It was too hot. Had to cool it down a little bit. The same is true for character design, even if the creator changes for the generation. For some reason, the main character of Sega raises his bangs. Yeah, okay, cool. It's the image of a hard-nosed man like Sega. I think it's time to change this. Ooh. Going back to the topic for a moment, you still value a sense of immersion and realism in the new Virtua Fighter? Yes, I think that is an important factor along with reality. Cool. What reforms will be implemented in the new VF? Ooh. How long is this interview? Holy shit, this is long. All right, this is gonna be multi-parter because this is long. Holy moly. It just keeps going. It just keeps going. How? Yeah, this is like another 45 minutes.